Amelia Boynton Robinson, not to be confused with Amelia Bedelia.
Miss Yarn, who is Amelia Boynton Robinson?
That's a great question. Not a clue.
Zero?
Zero.
That's quite disappointing. She was very vital to the United States of America. Do you know who Amelia Boynton Robinson is?
Wait, pause. Is this a setup? Am I going to look stupid if I don't know?
So he doesn't know. Dang, that's such a shame. Who is Amelia Boynton Robinson?
I have no freaking clue.
Dang, that is quite unfortunate. She's very important, if you didn't know.
Did she write a book?
No. Miss Jackson. Yeah. Do you know who Amelia Boynton Robinson is? Nope. Dang it! Sorry.
Do you know who Amelia Boynton Robinson is?
Amelia Boynton Robinson?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think so.
Are you serious?
I don't think. Why?
Because she's important. None of the history teachers know who she is.
I don't think I do.
Amelia Boynton Robinson was born on August 18, 1911, in Savannah, Georgia. She had 9 siblings who all had a religious upbringing. After attending Georgia State College for 2 years, Amelia transferred to Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. She taught at Tennessee State University and then became a home demonstrator for the USDA. She married Samuel Boynton in 1936 and had 2 children, Bill Jr. and Bruce Carver. As a civil rights activist, Amelia, along with her husband, worked to gain voting, property, and education rights for poor African Americans in Alabama.
In Amelia's early activism years, she and her husband were able to found the Dallas County Voting League in Alabama. The league officially began in 1933 and held voting drives for African Americans through the 1930s. With the help of other civil rights organizations, by 1962, Amelia was able to get over hundreds African Americans registered to vote. Amelia was also able to help put in effect other sit-ins and petitions to help designate the area.
In 1936, Robinson wrote a play entitled Through the Years to raise money for a community center that would be open to African Americans in a then racially segregated Selma, Alabama. Through the Years tells the story of Robert Smalls, one of Robinson's ancestors, through the character of Joshua Tyrrell, a slave who gains his freedom and goes on to serve in the U.S. Congress. Through the Years was inspired by the spirituals Amelia knew as a child.
Dr. King and the group and his staff went back to the house and said, we've got to do something. I don't know what is the best thing to do, but we're going to have to do something. Then 2 or 3 days after that, nights after that, Jimmy Lee Jackson was killed not too far from Selma in Marion, Alabama, when he attended a meeting. And the state trooper made an attempt to harm his mother, and he tried to protect his mother, and they shot him in the back. And Dr. King said, we are going to march to Montgomery, and we are going to see George Wallace and let him know that he has to protect the citizens of Alabama. And that's when the idea came to march to Montgomery.
Up with Martin Luther King Jr. with him, they planned a march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. The march happened on March 7th, 1965. Sadly, the peaceful protest turned into what is now known as Bloody Sunday. Marchers were beaten and gassed by policemen. Amelia was left unconscious on the road to die. Thankfully, someone pulled her out and saved her life.
They came with horses. They came with nightsticks, and I was standing and people were running because they were beating them. I did not run, so he hit me at the base of my neck, and I became unconscious.
All three events are prime examples of a democratic leadership style. Amelia fought for equality for African Americans. She supported the desegregation of democratic systems, such as voting and government jobs. Amelia worked with other people in multiple different organizations because she knew that that was the only way she would be able to reach her goals.
Nice.
Later in life, in 1990, President George H.W. Bush awarded Amelia with the Martin Luther King Jr. Medal of Freedom. It was due to her excellent work in fighting for equal rights for African Americans and desegregation. In 2014, Amelia's fight at Bloody Sunday was featured in the award-winning film Selma. The film depicts Amelia and other major leaders facing a long and hard battle of earning voting rights for African Americans in Alabama. 1 year later, Amelia was able to walk hand in hand with Obama and other survivors of Bloody Sunday on its 50th anniversary. Amelia died August 26, 2015 at the age of 104.
Miss Echo, who's Amelia Boynton Robinson?
I had no idea, but you've taught me about her, so we're good.